Right, I just thought I'd do this little video to put my penny's worth in about the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, which is 60 years, and what everyone's suddenly looking at Saturn. Basically, something that's quite important that you need to know if you're thinking about Saturn with relation to that, I feel, is the fact that Saturn has something called a Saturn cycle, which means it lasts 30 years basically to go around the chart. So in other words, after 30 years, Saturn will be back in the place where it started out when you were born. And normally this point, when it goes past your the natal point where it was when you were born, is often a time in your life where you have a big choice. You either have the chance of going down the same old route that you've always gone down, which actually will lead you to depression, or, you know, making a bid for going down a new path, which seems scary, but that's the one to go down. For example, I mean, I always talk about myself from my own personal experiences. I know I had my first daughter when I was 29, and, you know, partly you think actually it'd be quite nice to just stay single, well, not single, you know, but childless, because you can do what you like when you like. In actual fact, if I'd stayed on that path, I would be a right crappy old sort of selfish person probably by now. You know, down the years, obviously the benefits of having children are that you become unselfish and you gain great children. For example, now 60 years with the Queen and Saturn denotes obviously a double turning of that. So that's where I think you'll find that a lot of the power for Saturn with the Queen's Jubilee is coming from. They'll be wanting to integrate that Saturn power, but can I please just say that Saturn is not this terrible, horrible planet that everybody keeps trying to insinuate that it is. It really isn't. Now I want to show you one here, if I can scroll it up, which I hope it's working. I hope it will scroll up. Will it scroll up? Oh, no. It won't. Oh, it will. Right, this is a PDF here of a fascinating book called Saturn, and you look at an old devil. Right, which was a real astrological classic by someone called Liz Green, forwarded by Robert Hand, which I might be wrong, but I'm not really surprised. I think that's Barbara Handclaugh's brother. I might be wrong though, don't quote me on that, but I think it is. And this is a fantastic work, which even if you can read it on this PDF, you know, it'll tell you so much about Saturn, because at the end of the day, you know, in a nutshell, Saturn is where we learn. Yes, Saturn is kind of hard work, there's no doubt about that, but I mean, that is where we learn from our strife. Please read this, because we need Saturn. Saturn is not this horrible, nasty thing. It's really, really important to understand that, and this is a fantastic way. I mean, I just went to Amazon and searched, well, I just searched in here, Saturn, and you look at an old devil, and it comes up, and you can read most about this. And even though this is not the whole of the book, but you can, you know, start to look into the whole thing with Saturn. So yeah, Saturn cycles. I mean, and the other thing to bear in mind, I was looking on a Facebook picture that Starscream 233 had on his Facebook page a little while ago, and there was a picture there, and I think it was a diagram of a horoscope chart drawn by that A Kircher, but in the position of Capricorn's ruler, or the symbol rather for Capricorn, was not the goat, it was Anubis, the way shower. You know, so there's all sorts of things here that have probably been manipulated over the years, changed. They probably put the goat in there. You know, it's just ridiculous. So please, all I'd like to say is, please look beyond this kind of horrible Saturn thing, because it's just not like that. Everything's got to be good and everything's got to be bad. We can learn an awful lot of lessons, and not only that, you know, all planets, I mean, you know, there's a good side and a bad side to all planets. Please try and look into that. The other thing I'd just like to say is that, I mean, Barbara Handclaugh, she wrote a fantastic book called Chiron, Rainbow Bridge Between the Inner and the Outer Planets. Saturn is the farthest outer planet that we can see. Beyond that, you know, with a I don't know, with the naked eye, I don't know if you, I mean, all I know is it's the conscious planets, you see. The planets we can see, they're in our consciousness. Once you go beyond that, and you get to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and the rest of them, they can't be seen. So they're in the unconscious, but they're actually there. you know, we need to get beyond Saturn. We need to get to Uranus, which is enlightenment. We need to use Chiron. That is the bridge. And when you get that feeling of, you know, you've got to break with tradition. In other words, if you're going to step out on your path, for example, supposing you've been sent to a posh school or gone to college, or you know, you had a life mapped out as a doctor, but actually you just wanted to follow your heart and go and, I don't know, traipse around the Himalayas or something barefoot, and none of your family had ever done that, then that is breaking away from the Saturnian tradition. And when you say to your parents, you know what, I don't want to do this, I want to go barefoot around the Himalayas, don't expect approval from your parents. That is very important. That is a Saturn thing. You have to sort of withstand that. That is Saturn trying to hold you back. The approval of the society, of the norm, of your parents. You have to go through that pain barrier to really sort of, you know, break out. And then after a while, after a year or two, they'll accept you, and it'll be fine. So there's a lot to be said for breaking down the norms and the society and the whole shebang. This whole thing with the Queen and the Diamond Jubilee and Saturn, I just think, yeah, whatever, you're doing that thing. But actually there's a whole load more of us here on the internet who's got your number, Queenie. You know, and the whole damn shebang. So please, don't let it do your brains in. And do, if you can get your hands on a copy of Liz Green, this book, Saturn, and you look at an old devil, do yourself a favour and read it, because it's fascinating. Anyway, that's my penneth worth. I hope this has been useful. I hope I can remember how to stop this programme. Thanks then, bye.